On cold nights, we'd go to bed wearing jumpers with a pile of old coats substituting for blankets. We lived in constant dread of not having a shilling for the meter. Time after time, the gas mantles would go out and we'd light candles, or to be more accurate, night lights, little round blobs of wax like tiny cakes that were cheap and portable, requiring no candlesticks. It was very emotional to write this book and to write about things that you kind of half buried in your memory. But it was also, as many people who've done similar things have told me, cathartic, and it does actually help you. But the most important thing was, although it could get a bit sensitive at times, I just enjoyed the process of writing it. I mean, it was a book that really flowed. I'm writing the second one now and it's not flowing as well, but it did flow. It was almost as if it was just waiting to be written. So the bits where it got a bit edgy and a bit difficult, you could get through them because you kind of knew what you wanted to write. It wasn't a question of sitting there pondering for weeks about how to get the next paragraph on the page. That all flowed. As for books, it was Lily who had signed us up at the library in Ladbroke Grove before we could even read ourselves. But I struggle now to remember the books I borrowed. To actually possess your own books was different. Being able to pick them up and dip into them or reread them whenever you liked lifted the pleasure of reading onto another plane. Books furnish the mind in a way that the bailiffs can't repossess. When I was young, there were no books in the house, but my mother had taken me to Ladbroke Grove Library, and so we were getting books out, but they didn't belong to me. And the thing that I treasured were these 3 books that I got from this Christmas do that for some reason was always held in January at the Cobden Club in Notting Hill, which is now a very trendy music place, but then was a working men's club. My father, my feckless father, was the pianist, the great Notting Hill Ginger Johnson pianist. He was the compere, and every year we'd go to it for these 3 years. We'd get a book at the end of it. So I got Robinson Crusoe, I got Coral Island, I got Boy's Own Annual. And they were my books, and possessing those books and being able to read them and reread them. And for some reason, a book called Shane by Jack Schaefer. I badly wanted to be Shane. I suppose there was a lot of posturing going on around Notting Hill, like all these kind of areas where you had to look hard to avoid being attacked. And I think that's a treasure for someone who, you might not have a lot going on in your life, but being able to escape into a book is just a marvellous means of coping. I can't imagine a life without books now, and I can't imagine my life would have turned out the way it did eventually without books. It's a crucial thing, not just to have access to a library, that's very important, but to actually possess books. I'm still excited when I've ordered a book and it comes through. It's like Christmas Day. It's an important part of what the Booktrust does. It's the important part of getting books into children's hands as early as possible, because they'll pick up that habit. And it'll be terrible if they get, through their life having something that could have given them so much pleasure, but they didn't get the opportunity to actually indulge that.